May I now invite Dr. Kshatrapati Shivaji to address about SIDBI's role here in promoting entrepreneurship in India. He's been an IAS officer and chairman and managing director since February 27, 2015. Dr. Shivaji.
Honorable Minister of State Finance, Government of India, Mr. Jayant Sinha ji, Nandan Nilekani, Mohan Daspai, Kiran, Professor Rajgopal, Sarad, and the startup champions and friends. Sarad in his address mentioned that the back office of the world. Let me tell you, my view is that now the time has come that India now has to come on the front leg and has to become on the front office of the whole world. And this type of achievements, I am sure only we people seated in this hall will be able to achieve it, and we are very confident of this. Why? Normally, whenever these type of things happen, there are three different types of the people. We all know anything happen by only a very few people. Very many things happen with only few people getting involved and pushing it. Second type of the people, the another small numbers, they know what is happening across the world. And the large number of the people, especially in India, where the world may be flat, which was mentioned, but India is still not that flat. So large number of people, they don't know what is happening. And I believe that we all seated in this room are of the first category of the people. And we have been able to make a mark, not only in India, rather across the globe on various fields and various forums. Friends, when this type of the capabilities, when we all have, the startup movement, which Honorable Prime Minister also mentioned, the Startup India and Stand Up India, this type of activity have already started, and we all are happy to know that now the third largest number of the startups have taken place in India after US and UK. Because, you know, the mindset of every Indian is digital in nature. I mean, once this type of the upbringing has taken place, we all are now capable of producing this type of the innovative startup units. I will illustrate you one small incident which happened in New York when I, along with another Indian friend and two foreigners, were taking a dinner. Normally, whenever we talk each other without knowing, number crunching things keep coming in our conversation, like 9 8s are 72 or 5 4s are 20 of this type of things. Suddenly, these two foreigner friends seated over there started asking, how can you do this type of things? Both of them were so stunned. Then suddenly I saw there is a desktop line just in front of that restaurant, and it was written Intel inside. Then we mentioned, listen, your Intel has already gone inside that computer. And every Indian are retaining our Indian Intel intact. When this type of the digital mindset which is prevailing across the whole country, no matter many of us who may not have been educated, and still we retain that type of the vibrancy, that type of the vigor, that type of the talent. It is very easily visible across the country whenever we have traveled with the Jugaru and the frugal technology which we have been seeing across. This is also visible now, you will see in every, especially the joint family houses. In that family, even the tiny tots, the small kids, while playing on the laptop of the grandpa, when the grandpa find, or rather even sometimes the parents find it difficult to see something, to set right some of the smartphone or any other electronic equipment, there is some problem going on. That tiny tots will snatch that particular smartphone and will say, "Grandpa, you don't know even this? I will teach you." And these kids are now able to set it right much better than any of our older generation. When this type of the talents are prevailing right from the early childhood onward, I must say that now nobody can stop the startup movement in the country, and every month at least one Indian startup must become successful across the globe as a successful multinational corporation. There are many more success which we have been able to demonstrate, like Nandan, obviously he has done exemplary work in terms of the digitization on digitization and many other such initiatives. We feel proud of him. Similar thing like telecom growth story. In the beginning, many people were saying, then when the illiteracy or local language, unless that is sorted out, we will not be able to solve this issue. We all know, even the rag picker, even the most illiterate farmers, they are able to operate the entire, wherever they want to talk, and the telecom growth story on various accounts is very successful. Friends, now the kind of movement which the startup and other technology type of the movement which has taken place, it has become faster and faster. The pace at which the changes are taking place, we have to continue to maintain that speed. It is something that now we cannot turn back. It is so critical for a country like India that we have to move forward. And in fact, today I was commenting during our lunch time to Mohan and our other friends. It is something like skating on a thin ice. That speed is becoming the critical component, critically contingent upon the speed of your skating. Otherwise, you will not be safe. So is the case that now we people seated over here, along with our friends and all the concerned affiliated institutions, we have to maintain the speed of startup movements and these disruptive innovations intervention across the economy, across the whole gamut of our life without fail. Now, you may say that if this type of things are happening, what are the supporting environment which is coming across? And when many of our friends, when they visit back to the India, then the moment they land up on the airport, then we find that how the infrastructures are there. Many a times we feel that perhaps after coming from the Japan, the people start getting illusion whether the nuclear bomb was dropped in India or in Japan. And after that, when we keep moving on the road, we start saying, oh my God, maybe because of the problem of the road or the driver, or because of many more things which come across. And ultimately, even if we are not believer of the God, at the end of the 2 or 3 days of the journey in India, we start believing the God. Nevertheless, this type of the constraint which we all have been facing across, I can tell you that still we continue to perform, which Nandan also mentioned, the jugaad. We all have the capability to circumvent whatever the problem will come across, and we will succeed. That type of the determination, that type of the confidence we all have. That's why we say, even though there is a chaos, but India, it is a functioning chaos. This chaos, still we will be able to show the performance and we will move forward, what it may be. Now coming back, since time is less and I will not like to stand in between you and Honorable Minister. You know, Bill Gates also once mentioned, I never stood first in the class, but all the toppers are working for me. We all have done excellent in our career. We have been best. Means we are number one. But for the startup movement and this type of the challenges which we all are taking it, we have to be unique. We have to be only one, not number one. I mean, for that, we have to become not only number one, rather the only one, and for that sake, a number of things which require the smart movements, a smart packaging, smartly how you can be able to commercialize your innovations, and you can realize its real potential. That type of things are required, and even if we feel proud of many of our friends who are becoming the CEO of the successful base, no, am I taking time? I will just. Many of our friends who are taking position as a CEO in the successful multinational corporation like Nadella and Sundar Pichai, we feel proud of. But we feel doubly proud if every Indian startup, they become not only multinational corporation, successful multilateral corporation, you become the honor of not only the corner office, become the honor of the whole office itself. I mean, that type of the spirit is required from the I spirit, and that will give us the mileage. Now coming back little bit on the SIDBI, of course these details are available on the website and all. Today we are coming out, Honorable Minister will be releasing a book on the intellectual property, which is very much useful to the extent what we felt that it is going to be very handy for all of you, which will be released and we will distribute it. Second thing that SIDBI has come out with a number of initiatives, especially for the support, creating a benign atmosphere, creating a favorable ambience for especially the startups. Startup faces problem largely on not getting the timely and adequate risk capital, for which recently, in fact just 2 days back, we have been able to float and launch in the hands of Honorable Finance Minister Mr. Jaitley, and also Mr. Jayant Sinha was present there. We have already launched India Aspiration Funds, which will provide funding to all the venture funds, both for the venture capital, venture debt, and also if there are any other such assistance required on the risk capital domain with the various various products. SIDBI has been in this field for a long period. We have been on the front, and we can tell you that all types of the supports will be extended for this type of the movement. I don't want to take much time, but wish you all the best for the success, and especially the I spirit and Mr. Sarad and all the team. I must say that it is an exemplary work which you have demonstrated. Thank you.